Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at GALA. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. So the primary thing that I'm looking for here is actually looking to complete a 5-wave move here. Now, from the top end here, what I'm treating this as is a wave 1, 2 is a flat, basically a 3, and looking for this as a 4th wave to the upside. Now, it's possible this 4th wave could actually be completed. The typical zone we actually look for rejection is here between this 3353 to this 2994. Now we've come up into this zone, and like I said, possibly this 4th wave could be completed and we could start to form this as a 1 and a 2. Then we start to break down in a 5-wave move, looking for this lower target of this 2586 to this 2405. So this is something we need to be aware of. If we do, however, hold this 2818, what we could see is that possibility of seeing another 5-wave move to the upside here, looking for this area here between this 3500 and this 3360. Now that would be that 1-to-1 and that 786. That 786 would tie in quite nicely with a retest of this box area here. So we could actually see this move come back up here and then look to break down. However, we need to be careful because it does look like there is potential for a 5-wave move here. So if this move actually breaks this low, it becomes quite likely that we are already within this 5th wave and looking for this low target. Now, how does this fit into the bigger picture? So we need to be careful with 5-wave moves because really until we actually take the highs again, we can see extension. So we're going to go over that more bearish scenario in a second, but primarily what we're looking for here is to see whether we have further evidence that we actually have a low in place here. So there's a couple of things that we need to see happen for that to play out. Now, we were talking about this basically in this way here, where we're looking at that possibility that we have this as a wave 1, looking for this as an A, B, and a C for a wave 2. And that zone that we actually need to hold is between this 2931 to this 2030. If we start to lose 2030, this potential of having a push to the upside becomes less likely. So now we are looking for the potential that this is a 5-wave move where this becomes 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for a bigger 3rd wave, 4th wave, and a 5th wave to the upside. However, we need to be also aware that this could just be A, B, and C. And then we see a move up to this 1-to-1 rather, which would be this 10 cent 81. So this is something we need to just keep an eye on here. Just because we have a 5-wave move here doesn't mean we're going to develop an impulse. We could just see something like this as a 5-wave move and then we break to the downside after that. So need to be aware of this area of this 1-to-1 if we do move up here. Confirmation of a bigger impulse would get moving up here to this 2393. And then we'd want to see an additional 4th wave and a 5th wave, which could look to push us as high as this 39 cent to this 28 cents. So that would be looking at this as a regular impulse. Now, obviously, impulses can also extend past this 1.618. So it's possible this 3rd wave could go further past this zone. We'd have to obviously wait until we actually start to get the subwave structure developing for that move. So the way that 5-wave move would fit into this is actually looking at this as a flat correction here, looking for this to actually become 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we can also look at this in a slightly different way, in which case we could argue that, this is a W into here, this is an X, and then we have a Y. So this is why it's going to be key whether this 4th and 5th forms. If this is just A, B, and C, and it's actually completed into this low, what we could have is then this A, B, C, or this W, X, Y could already be looking to complete. Now we can see we've come down to this 1-to-1. If we take this from this point here as a W, this into this high as an X, and then looking at this as a Y wave, potentially that could have actually completed because we came down towards this 1-to-1 already. Now, primarily, like I said, I'm looking for that 4th and a 5th. If that fails to develop and we start to break to the upside and we actually push past this zone here of this 3890, that would invalidate that possibility of that additional 4th and a 5th. Though really until we actually take the high, we cannot, we can't rule out the idea of extension. Although within this move here, we don't have a 4th wave, so I would be still looking at it as a 3-wave move. But what we could get is that until this high is taken over here, which is sitting at this zone of this 4156, we can always see further extension to the downside, and then that would just mean that this move is actually extending out, which would tie into the more bearish count. So we're gonna go over that now. But really, as long as we hold this 29.31 to this 20.30, this 20.30 being the lower end, which we wouldn't really want to lose, as long as we hold that zone, potentially we can look for this to have another move to the upside. Now, we need to also be careful because there is the potential that instead of looking at this as a WXY into this low here, this could actually just be this could be an A wave. We could actually get a B wave to the upside, which could look to target out the zone of this 181 to this 072 area, and still actually mean that we get a push to the downside for a C wave, which could actually look to bring us back down into this area of this 1432 to this 00792 area. So this is something we need to be careful of because we're looking for a Y wave here potentially. This can even form as an expanding flat. So we need to just be aware of that even if we do see a breakout into this 1-to-1 area, what we could then see is this move breakdown after that in a 5-way move. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this higher area here and look for a reaction within this zone if we do actually look to move higher up here. Another thing that we need to be aware of is there is that potential still that we were talking about this, where we could see this as a fourth wave to the upside, where we have a flat here, and then we're looking for that potential to break down in a direct 5-wave move. So we need to be cautious of that fact, especially with the structure we have here currently. Now, there's a couple of ways we can look at this potentially looking as a breakdown. Now, we could argue that there was something like this, which we discussed previously, where we have a 1-2-1-2. I've revised this so it's a bit neater. What this would be is actually something like this. So this does look quite complicated, but effectively what we would need to watch is this blue count here. So if we do get an additional fourth and a fifth, and we do move down into that zone, so I'm actually just going to overlay that again. Into this zone of this 2586 to this 2405. What we need to be careful of is the fact that if we do then move up in a 3-wave move and fail to actually move back above this zone here of this 3603, this could actually mean that we have an extension in here where this is actually a 1 and a 2. This becomes 3, 4, and 5, in which case we'd have to be then careful, because if we do drop past this zone here of this 2188, this would be a 1.618 of this yellow wave here. So this could then actually set us up for a bigger 3rd-wave move, where this all becomes a 3rd, we get a 4th and a 5th. And then that would tie into the idea of having this as an additional 1-2 here. And then we could actually see a move which looks to push us down towards this 01735 to this 01462. So this could actually indicate that we are starting to break down in a bigger way. Now, these moves can extend out further than I've actually got shown here, and this would be by, for instance, this blue count, moving past this 1618 area and rather targeting lower down here towards this 2014 as a 3rd wave, and then we would get obviously these waves extending out, and these targets would change. But at the moment, I'm just looking at to see whether we actually get a move back into this channel. We get a move away from it, potentially back into the center of the channel for a 4th wave, and then looking to actually drop again towards this zone of this 2278 to this 2045. So the key thing here is if we do develop that additional wave to the downside here in a 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that could potentially then finish this 3rd wave, in which case we have to be careful of a 4th and a 5th as we have it marked out here. Now, it is always possible that within this structure, if we fail to, or even if we do achieve this 2188, what we could see is this could also just be ABC, in which case this would then become A, this would become A, this would become B, and then this could just be a C wave down. And what this could mean is then, if we do break back to the upside and cross this wave 1 high, that would invalidate the idea of this yellow 4th wave. So we need to be aware of that, because unless we get some deeper extension here, there's not going to be a lot of room for this 4th wave to develop. It would have to be something like a triangle if it is going to develop in this zone, because otherwise it would be too large to fit here between these levels. So either we're going to get some extension here if this is going to be an impulse, and then we're going to see this move pushed down possibly towards this 2618, or we could see this yellow wave count become something like a triangle or something shallower that doesn't manage to cross this. But otherwise, we could just have A, B, and C. So that's why, we do have that bullish count still alive, and, potentially we can still look to complete that. The other way we can look at this is in this manner here, where we could argue that within this structure, counting it slightly different, we could have this as a 1, a 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here. This is a 4th, and then this is a 5th wave to the downside. Now, there isn't any overlap between this wave 1 and this wave 5. Sorry, wave 4. So that is fine. The internal counts are fine here as well. Third wave is not the shortest wave, so this does tie into being able to be counted as a 5-wave move. So we need to be careful of that fact that within this, that could actually be 1, this could be 2, and what this would mean is that we could actually be looking to extend out much deeper here, looking for this zone of the 01509. Now, within these internals here, it wouldn't make sense currently on how it would get there, but basically what we need to be careful of is that within here, that there could be a wave extending where this becomes a 1, 2, then possibly we get this as this is an additional 1 and a 2, and then we start to break down in a bigger way here, in which case that would actually make it easier to get towards this typical target that we are looking for here. If we do get a move down towards that zone, obviously breaking this low gets rid of that bullish potential to the upside, and what we would then be looking for is possibly a move down to this 1357 to this 1140. So this would be something we need to just be careful of. If we do start to break down in a bigger way here, need to keep an eye on that lower level here of this 01509. Now, as we were talking about earlier, we can still look for that bullish potential to actually move to the upside. And what we would want to see is this support zone hold. If we start to lose this 2030, it becomes less likely we're going to see this hold and see the reversal to the upside. Really, I wouldn't want to see it come too much deeper than this 2418. To be honest with you, I'd like to see this complete this move down into this zone and then look to move away and get out of this area. If this is looking to break away from here, this is possible, but we need to break back above this 3661 primarily, and then this 4155 for further confirmation that, this is not developing into a 5-wave move, in which case we could start to see this develop into a bigger 5-wave move to the upside. But the structure isn't looking good at the moment for something like that. And like I said, we'd have to see a move past this 3947 here for confirmation that we have the possibility of an impulse here, where this becomes 1, 2, this would become 3, we get 4, and then 5, and then basically we'd be looking to move away from this zone in this manner. But we don't have that at the moment, and to be honest with you, I am still anticipating that potential to drop down one more time, come back into this channel, and complete that 5-wave move. I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications, leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone, have a great day. See you in the next one.